years ago, there flourished on the Yucatan Peninsula, just across the Gulf of Mexico from our own New Orleans, the most brilliant civilization of the New World before the coming of the white man, namely that developed by the Maya Indians. The most sacred city of this civilization was Chichen Itza, the Mecca of the ancient Maya world. In this buried city of forgotten pomps and glories, the Carnegie Institution of Washington, through an arrangement with the government of Mexico, has been carrying on extensive excavations and rebuilding during the past 8 years. Temples, palaces, courts, and plazas have been unearthed from the mold of centuries, and scores of Maya laborers, working under scientific direction, have brought to light the glories of this forgotten race. These excavations have brought to light the following outstanding facts. The ancient Maya were the most highly civilized people of the New World, architects of extraordinary skill, sculptors of tremendous ability. They were, in short, the intellectual leaders of the New World in pre-Columbian times. Rising above the tops of the highest trees is the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, principal sanctuary of the ancient city, which has been excavated and repaired by the government of Mexico. At the left, the pyramid and temple appear as they were before excavation and repair. At the right, as they are now, after excavation and repair. Careful rebuilding has gone hand in hand with the work of repair, and the operations being carried out by the Carnegie Institution of Washington here at Chichen Itza. That shapeless mound of fallen masonry at the left, near the tree, is a pyramid and temple as we found it. At the right, another after excavation and rebuilding.
Whew, a long ways to their gods.
Let's get going, folks.
Vamos.
Eight years ago, the Temple of the Warriors, now rising before you, was a mound of fallen stone buried beneath the virgin forest. This magnificent example of ancient Mayan architecture was a shapeless mound of fallen stone when its excavation and repair were first begun. Here again, we have the feathered serpent as a stairway above the statue of an ancient Maya. In front of all the temples were statues of reclining human figures, upon which offerings were placed before the worshippers passed within.
Let's go in there now and see the throne.
Their temples were covered with figures of serpents and birds.
Gee, that's sure a fine carving.
It is thought the human head issuing from the serpent's mouth represents the soul of this deity. In this great stone-walled court, there was played a game not unlike our modern game of basketball. The object of this game was to drive a ball of hard rubber through that ring on the right wall. A difficult feat indeed, since the ball could not be thrown with the hand, but had to be struck with the elbow, wrist, or hip. Indeed, so rarely was this winning stroke made that, by ancient rule of the game, the lucky player making it had forfeited to him all the clothing and jewelry of the spectators. The early Spanish historians tell us in this connection that when this stroke was made, the spectators all took to their heels to avoid paying this penalty, and the friends of the player ran after them, dragging their clothes from their backs, thereby causing much merriment.
hit me.
Now, let's see again.
Oh,
Don't hit that rock.
boy, I have
No,
a better
just-
shot than all of it. Come on, Nick. Oh, that was a piece. Oh,
That was a fine one.
Get over there.
Now, let's see what I do it again.
That's a beauty. Do it again. Oh, there you did.
Here you are. Do it again.
Oh,
Come on. Yeah.
look out for your head.
Whoop, there it goes. Whoop,
Come on.
Oh, what's the matter with you? Hurry up.
now.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh, come on.
I just went over.
Oh,
Come on. Whoop.
oh, the top.
Come on. Here's a good one. Do it again.
One of the most spectacular rites of the Maya religion was the sacrifice of young girls at the edge of the sacred well. In times of drought, the most beautiful maidens of the city were hurled into this deep and sinister pool to appease the offended rain deities.
These males must have been some climbers.
Some climb.
Gosh, let's rest here a minute. There's a place. What a magnificent view. Those buildings, magnificent.
The astronomical observatory. The ancient Maya were the most advanced astronomers of the New World. The seasons of their agricultural year, the felling of the forest, the burning and planting were determined by the observations made in this tower.
Oh, what a wonderful sight.
It certainly is.
The most accurate observations were made by the simplest of methods, through stone-lined passages in the top of the tower. Through these windows, the ancient astronomer priests, peering out to the distant horizon, were able to fix the positions of the longest and shortest days of the year, the risings and settings of the evening star. This magnificent building, elaborately sculptured with representations of the rain deity, is one of the most notable constructions in the city.
Great.
Wonderful.
Oh.
The rain god, with his great grotesque nose and filed teeth. Remember that all this intricate carving was made with simple tools of stone, the Maya having no metal implement. In some cases, where the carving is not very deep, as here, it has been found necessary to paint in the background with watercolors in order to bring out the design more clearly.
What an excellent idea.